Greetings, ladles, jelly spoons, and all other non-binary kitchen utensils. Welcome to another episode of the Gravy Wheels podcast. I am your host, Andrew.
I'm Franklin.
And I'm Mahova.
How you doing, kids?
I'm still tired, man. The Rona has me fatigued for days.
Yeah,
and I'm ready to be done with it.
I think you're going to be tired forever. That's sort of the deal, right?
You're just doomed for the rest of your life to be just sleepy, which sucks.
Me, IRL.
Yeah.
I have no excuse, though. How you doing, Frank? Quiet up there.
Work is just fucking killing me, man. It's like we've been like super busy this year because of how all the other centers are, and because we're located in a location where they don't really care about the vid. But I've also been tested again. But and somebody else really close to me was tested again, and we both tested.
You had exposure to me and got tested, or
Yeah,
or that time is the time you're speaking of?
and then somebody else around me got tested, and they tested
Jesus.
negative. But no, we have like a cold or something. But you know, we're still trucking through, always checking our fucking temperatures all the time, all that. It's been a real drain though, because
that was I never had the temperature, and I had COVID, so
I mean, it's kind of different for everybody. That seems to be the
weird, man.
the deal.
I think I've been tested 3 or 4 times now. I can't remember. And
Did it burn for you?
Well, no. So here's the thing. I've had a lot of things up my nose,
I have a deviated septum.
and like some people are like, "Oh, it's so bad." I'm like, "Do you know how many times I've like been drinking like a fifth of like Wild Turkey 101 or Fighting Cock 101, and I've accidentally had the straw go up way too far." Like, this is nothing.
God.
This is nothing. In fact, one time I had a bloody nose because I had a metal tube. But you know, anyways, let's
Calm down, Artie Lang.
Yeah.
I don't clean about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. Who cares?
Who's counting?
Mine hurt like I had a fucking poker that somebody left in the fire, and just like it didn't feel deep. I saw some videos where it was like, God, like they're poking their brains. I don't think he went that far deep, but when he was like rotating it, it just like immediately made my eyes start watering on that side of my face. It just stung, and then I wondered like maybe it only stings if you're positive or something. I don't know. Who
No,
knows?
what? No,
No.
no. So what I do every time I have to go test it, because my nose is stuffy, I don't let it get like all. I don't blow my nose or anything for like the 2 hours leading up to the test. I let it all build up, and then that thing, I stick it all the way up there, and I really
You stick it?
every one that I've done, I've had to be the one that does it. I know.
That's weird.
I know, but here's my thing for that.
That's weird.
If they're not gonna like make sure that it's all the way up there, like I'm fucking scrambling the brains on a fucking mummy, you know. No, I go all the way up there, and I'm probably more a glutton for pain than you are. I don't know. I've been perfectly fine.
Cover that. Give yourself a lobotomy.
Basically, I mean that's what they.
Stick it in through your eye here, and then just swish it around. Horrific.
No, just work has got me tired as hell, but I've not been tired and I've been staying awake for some really fun ass games I've been playing recently.
Let's hear about that.
Well, Ghost of Tsushima is fucking amazing, and I wish that something else was not released so that way I could fully play through Ghost. Because man, that is, you just.
I got some Breath of the Wild vibes from looking at it. I haven't played it yet. I really am excited to, but can you tell me if that comparison is apt or not?
Yeah, so the wild areas, like just like the where you walk through and stuff has like a lot of those vibes, and the art style is like kind of realistic, but also does have like there are things that make it seem a little bit more like they're making it seem like it's like a cartoon or an anime or an old school movie where they try to do some of those effects. They really bring out the landscapes and all that. And yeah, the free roam is great because I just got to the part in the story where you can free roam and basically do whatever you want. And I love it. I love all of it. I love acting like I'm the guy working the fucking deli counter with a meat slicer, but I'm just using a fucking samurai sword. Like, it's great. It's awesome. It's fun.
It looks like a blast. I mean,
Story's fantastic.
I mean, it's also, it just looks beautiful too. Looks stunning.
It is, yeah. Well,
But that's not all you've been playing.
No, because I was a dum-dum baby, but I
It's my
bought...
fault.
It is partially your fault, because you got it. And I was like,
I
oh,
kept sending a bunch of videos that day one.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to get into this. And then I found Cyberpunk for like $10 cheaper than GameStop and Target. I found it at Walmart. I think I only spent like $40 on it. But
Nice.
but they had it like everywhere else. They had it for like $60 or something. $50-$60.
I think that's what I spent on Steam.
Yeah, I mean, that's MSRP.
But I think they had like some sort of sale, or they fucked up, and I only spent $40. So it was like,
That's crazy.
And
Yeah, $60 on Steam.
I've managed to stay strong in my claim that I'm not going to buy it until, much later, until CDPR sort of pulls the foot out of their asses.
they went to the, oh man. They went to the park, and they found a little like toddler girl with her like pet dog, and they just kidnapped that dog and they fucked it. They
No,
screwed the pooch.
No.
They screwed the pooch. They did.
I thought you were going to say they stepped in it. They followed the dog and tell it shit, and then they just stepped right in it.
Constantly, and the dog had the runs that day too. They just kept stepping in it, day after day. This is day 5, and they just still keep stepping in it.
The dog loves Taco Bell.
Who doesn't? Let's be honest.
But what's your experience bombing around Night City so far?
I love it.
Both
And-
of yous.
Well, it's his impressions first.
I mean, I only played the first day, and then I've been busy doing other stuff. But I liked it more than I expected I would. I figured I would just kind of mess around in it for like an hour and then be kind of like, it's not really my thing. But because I saw a lot of people shitting all over it, that the gunplay was really bad, and that worried me because I'm like, man, if I'm not into the gunplay, I'm really not going to be into it.
Yeah.
But my first few experiences you get in gunfights pretty much right off the bat. So at least I don't know what lifestyle you chose, but I chose Nomad, and it got into it fairly quickly. And it wasn't the smoothest shooting experience, but it's like GTA 5. You can't say that shooting experience is very great either, but it's not terrible. And just I think just the lore or whatever, the first time I walked out of my apartment and just like saw the cityscape and the amount of NPCs walking around, and they're not just like a copy paste of the same 6 adults. There was children, and there just so much going on. It was pretty impressive. And there's a lot of like minor glitches. It's just little stuff that you'll catch during like a cut scene, or things that are clipping that shouldn't be. But for the most part, there was like one time where I forgot my buddy's name. Frankie? Yeah, Frankie.
Jackie.
Jackie, same shit.
Frankie
He
Valley.
walked through an entire vehicle with pedestrians in it, and then the vehicle just like deleted itself. Basically, it just disappeared, and he walked through to start the mission. And I was like, okay, but that's about the most major glitch I've seen, And I always just, maybe it's because we're the older generation of gamers now. Like any game to this scale, I just expect it to be broken in certain areas. I mean, it's so fucking massive.
This is Mr. Glass. This game is the Mr. Glass of video games, of how broken it is. There is so much shit that is just like they're very minor inconveniences.
Yeah, I feel like a year ago they had a complete shit show unlaunchable game on their hands, and the obvious solution was a massive list of completely broken, oh shit, we gotta fix this, and then everything that it just launched with underneath that, and they fixed all the oh shit, we can't release in this status, and we got what they didn't have time to fix, and they didn't want to delay it again. Well, yeah, it's mostly minor shit. It does distract you a little bit, take you out of the moment, sure, but it's not like the game's breaking and forcing you to like lose your progress and shit like that. So
for you or for me, but have you guys seen like a lot of people that are posting that they've like the game crashes on them like 4 times an hour and all
I haven't seen that.
issues? There's a lot of there. In fact, they're doing digital refunds. It doesn't matter how long you played it for. CD Projekt Red, they're taking in all the refunds they can. They're doing
platform.
All of them now. All of them.
Just everything.
Everything. Yeah. I don't know how.
I mean, that's.
Go ahead.
That's pretty incredible. I do respect that they're. Because a lot of people, this happens every once in a while when a game comes out and it's kind of busted, and then usually the devs are just like, well, fucking wait for some patches or don't play it, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But the fact that CDPR is like,
at least they're owning up to it.
Yeah, at least they're trying to own it a little bit, and like despite some of the other like fuckery that's gone on, I do respect that at least.
The previous platforms, PS4 and the Xbox, like I think they should have been a little more transparent. They should have been like, hey, if you're getting this on old gen, don't expect it to be anywhere near the experience, and there's going to be some issues because we were limited on what the hardware could handle, shit like that. They probably should have like made some sort of a statement out from the gate, because seeing the shit that it looks like a complete fucking shit show, like not even worth playing on previous gen. But that's also, I just think they need to stop. Like, I get why they feel like they have to. It's just, that's kind of like the industry standard right now. I don't understand. Like, sorry, everybody that doesn't have the money to buy a new console right now, but you're not going to be able to play fucking Cyberpunk until you do. They don't need to fucking waste the time developing it on a PS4 and this, whatever the fucking previous Xbox is. There's 17 names. I just don't understand why they waste the time doing that. And then it's the same with like GTA. When GTA 5 came out on 360 and PS3, it like barely fucking worked. It was a terrible experience. It wasn't as bad as this. It was pretty fucking... Yeah,
it's not even close.
Right, okay, but like by the time you played it on other shit, you were like, God, that was fucking trash. I remember like there wasn't even animals and shit in it, I'm pretty sure. Like there was like no wildlife because the systems couldn't handle it.
I still haven't played GTA on a console besides the 360, so fuck you. GTA 5, I mean.
Maybe that was a bad example, but I know that there was some similar... It's like the Call of Duty... I think Ghost was the one that came at the time. Yeah. That
was a rough one.
There's always that transition game that if you get it on the current hardware, it's just going to blow dicks.
Yeah. But also, like, part of the problem with that, too, is that CD Projekt Red intentionally didn't give out review copies for, like, PS4 and Xbox One.
For that reason.
No.
They didn't...
You couldn't do, even on the new graphics cards, you couldn't do a review.
Really? What did you have to play it on?
You could not do like a full review on how how the AMD and NVIDIA graphics cards handle it until it launched. No, they really silenced complaints before.
I don't. I think if you come out, I think you should just release a statement like the day before your fucking game comes out, if this is the situation you're in, and be like, hey, look, there are some performance issues right now, and we're working on them. But if you don't want to buy day one because of that, like we respect that.
Yeah.
Because I think that that's a fucking hell of a lot better than, 2 days into your game's launch, all your fans are mad at you because you were not upfront about like what your expectations should have been. It's just I don't know. It's just a bummer. I hate it seeing people get mad about this kind of shit when it's like super preventable.
And so, yeah, and the game's been being developed for like 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
But all right, now here's another thing though: is all of those sour grapes and stuff. I've been like really on top of the Cyberpunk news, just performance-wise on the PC, the Xbox Series X, and the PS5, the full one that I got, not the digital one. Like all those issues, and a lot of people on the PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC are still like it's running like garbage, like dog shit garbage. Like it's crashing like 4 or 5 times an hour. But do you want to know my experience in 12 hours of gameplay?
Totally fine.
3 crashes, which
That's
is
more than 0.
but it's a lot better than fucking what everybody else is saying.
I think
Yeah,
I put 5, maybe 6 hours into it, and I didn't have any crashes. My PC's been running it fucking great. Like, I left all the settings on ultra. I didn't turn anything down. The frame rate, because like the first part as a nomad, you start. Spoiler alert! It's not anything too crazy, but you start like in a garage. So you're like in an enclosed small space, and I was like, "Ooh, it feels okay now, but wait until I get into the city. This is going to be terrible."
Oh, you
And
drove through
I
the
really
desert?
haven't noticed any.
Yeah. Your desert drive was fun.
I haven't really noticed any. Yeah, my desert drive was fun, and then that also, I picked Nomad specifically because I was like, I want it to be a lead up to like, holy shit, I'm in the city now. This is insane. Like, I worked through all these fucking rugged, country missions. No, you go right to the city as a Nomad, which was kind of a bummer, but also, I can't be bummed about being in the city. But yeah, my PC's been running it fine. I haven't had any crashes. The FPS feels good. The graphics look fucking great, and like, I have a somewhat higher end PC, but it's also getting outdated. Like, Call of Duty Cold War runs fairly bad on my computer. That's usually while I'm trying to stream it too, so that that's a little bit of a resource hog on it. But
Yeah.
it seems to run better than Call of Duty. Say that. So I don't know.
I've had very minimal issues with it, with the graphics, because everything is all basically set to default. Only 3 like crashes, which is fucking golden platinum compared to how everybody else is playing it.
Sure.
The graphics do look better on my fancy panels, but on my big 50-inch 3 or 5-year-old TV, they look great. The side quest stuff, I've gotten into it a bit. During the first couple of main story levels, you can really keep track of them. But once you get past a certain story, the floodgates open for all the side quests, and there's just so many of them. The gun combat is actually really good. You can play this fully stealth, complete stealth, and be a nerd and just hack everything and do all that.
There's so much. I get so overwhelmed when I just start thinking about all right, how can I say fuck it, I'm shooting things.
That's
Hacking stuff is super complex, if you ask me.
no, but it really
It's cool as shit though.
yeah. So that is a whole nother aspect, because this is basically based on a tabletop RPG game. That's
Right.
literally the entire universe is built off of that, and I love this universe. I love this aesthetic. A lot of people are really shitting on it, but I don't want to. Every waking hour, if I'm not at work, I want to be playing this game, and I've had very few issues with it. Although I'm sorry, a lot of people have.
I really enjoyed the whole I forget what it's called, but when you watch like the mind captures or whatever, the fucking it's like a video file, but then so it like breaks it down to where you can go to like a heat sensitive mode, an audio mode, and then there's a visual mode, and there's like clues that you'll see in the timeline. Think of like theater mode for like Call of Duty. You're like playing a clip, but you can rewind and go back and forth as much as you want. And as you're playing it, like you'll see a part of the like audio timeline file like will glow, indicating that there's a clue in that spot. And then you have to like go back and forth in that spot and try to isolate where the clue is in this like memory video capture thing. It's really fucking weird, but I thought that was a pretty cool little gameplay mechanic.
That's a cool idea. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are brain dances, and they happen quite a quite a bit, and you can go through them. But yeah, now that we got off of CDE Project Red's dick, who are you hopping on now, Hova? What have you been doing recently? Or Andrew?
I've been doing nothing but open Pokemon cards.
I got a game in the mail today that I ordered off of eBay, Electronic Bay.
Is it a copy?
It was complete.
Is it a copy of Bubsy? What? Is it a copy of Bubsy you can just smash with a baseball bat and throw away and burn?
You guys, I hate all of you.
I already have too many of those. It was a copy mint in box of, I mean, probably not mint, but it's still nice.
New in box
with all the inserts and shit. What's that? You got Explorer Pikachu there? Fuck him. He can't evolve and go to hell.
I know, but I got him. I was happy. There was a lot at Wendy's.
I got a copy of Planet Puzzle League for the Nintendo DS.
Oh shit!
Okay.
Because I've been so obsessed with playing Panel de Pon and Tetris Attack and all that shit lately that now I'm on. I just gotta have them all, man. I gotta have all the Panel de Pon options. Fucking feels super good. It's got power ups and shit in it. I love it. I had it a long time ago. You can play it as like holding the DS like a book. You can play it like this, or you can play it like this. It's nice. I like it, man. It rules. It's a great game. There's a Nintendo Switch version of it now called Flip-On, I think, that was made by like a little indie studio. It's like not licensed or anything, but it's the same sort of vibe, and I gotta check that out too. It's like $6.
I got something in the mail too.
What do you get? Oh, your Mario pregnancy test.
Ooh.
Yeah, Super Mario 64 camera.
I'm a Luigi. I'm not the father.
Click. Got ya.
Can you put? Do you have film for it?
Fuck no. I don't even think it works. I got it for like $15. I just want to buy a bunch of like really weird, obscure like Nintendo and Mario shit and decorate my office in it.
No.
You have a bunch of shit in there.
We need a bunch of
eyeballs.
glass cases for that, and then we need like the next time like a Hastings or like a Blockbuster. Well, no, not the last Blockbuster. Like a movie. Yeah, no, like all like whenever those places are done, we need to buy like those the shelving stuff they have in there to put in your fucking basement.
I know. I want some of those glass shelves. Warrensburg still has like a family video? I think
it's a family video. I don't believe that it's a movie gallery, but it's a family video.
It's like privately owned though.
The last time I drove through there, they have a LED sign that says they sell CBD oil there too.
I saw that. Yeah. I tell you guys about the time I was going. I don't remember where it might have been like on the way to Springfield or something, but I don't know why I would have been like off of the highway. We were heading somewhere, and it was just one of those trips where you're like going through a random town, and I saw like a video game store sign. So I was like, cool, I want to, just stop and check those out because you don't see those very often anymore, unfortunately. Yeah. And it was a fucking Radio Shack. This was like last year.
What?
Radio Shack's gone, but it was a privately owned. I guess like you can still run shit like that if you just like run it privately. Like if you, I don't know how that works, but they still had like Radio Shack merchandise in there, and all the signage and shit was up. And then it was also a used video game store. Like you could rent and fucking buy games. You could rent like SNES games. It was the fucking coolest shit. It was in the tiniest little.
Yeah,
it was a town that was probably like 7,000 or 8,000 pop or something. It wasn't a very big town, and I was just like, this is so fucking cool. I wish it wasn't like an hour and a half away from my house because I would probably be here all the time. I bought some like Game Boy games because wherever we were traveling to, I always bring the Game Boy Advance SPs for my kids. And those games are, you go into a little mom and pop shop like that, you can get like $2 or $3 games. So I went in and bought a few games, just to, because like I'm the kind of person when I see shit like that. I just got back from there's a mom and Pokemon store in Sedalia, believe it or not. They do like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and all that stuff, and they actually sell shit at MSRP, which is hard to find these days because Pokemon's so fucking crazy hyped up. But I just like when I'm in a store like that, I love the idea of privately owned small businesses, mom and pops, so much that I'll just go out of my way to buy something because I get it. Like it's always been a dream of mine to like have a food truck or my own restaurant or like a used video game store or something. Like how cool would it be to just grow old and be surrounded by something that you fucking love? But the stress of doing that, and if you don't have people walking in and you don't have people buying stuff, and you don't make X amount of money per day, the stress and everything. So anytime I'm in a store like that, I just go out of my way to, even if I don't need anything, I'm at least going to spend a little bit of money, So
yeah, get some somethings or others. Like there was a place like that in Lawrence. There were a couple of them in Lawrence that were actually pretty good. And anytime I would go in there buy some fucking DVDs or some shit, just something.
Just something, yeah. I wish more. I heard about it last year. I think there was some day like around the same time as Black Friday. They were calling it something. It was like a play on that, But it was all about going out and just supporting small businesses. Yeah, and I really like the idea of that. I wish shit like that would catch on. I feel like the majority of people don't care. I mean, and myself, I live out in the middle of nowhere, so I order shit like from Prime Pantry and stuff all the fucking time. I shop online from huge retailers constantly, but I do try to give back local as much as possible.
Yeah, Frank, you frozen?
So here's how it is sometimes, though, I really love to buy local and support local businesses, but sometimes if you're poor or you don't have the money, like, you really do have to go to those big box stores every now
because they're the only ones that can afford to give those prices. Unfortunately,
I hate that it's that way.
The classic problem here.
Yep.
No. Gross. Hate it.
So I have to say something now that we're talking.
Guessing though.
What?
It's true.
I just got some Detective Pikachu packs. $7.99. 2 Detective Pikachu packs, and I think there's a Crimson Invasions. 3 booster packs, $8. Mom and pop. I'll suck that dick all day, baby.
So
I felt that really intensely back when I was buying comic books because there are just fucking no like big comic book stores anymore. Like that just doesn't really exist.
Yeah, because what do they retail for? Like $5?
Yeah, that's like $4 or $5 an issue now, I think at minimum. But
so Ever is going to look at that and be like, so we have to sell 10 million copies a month to be profitable? No.
Well,
no thanks.
that and like you have new inventory every week, just constantly new inventory. And if you don't have the books that people want, nobody buys shit. And if you buy shit that people don't want, you're stuck with it. It's just like it's a hard business model to deal with. And then I went digital because I'm a scumbag and I like to have comic books. I like to have comic books in my pocket.
Did you ever see the Game Zone in Stellia?
Oh, yeah.
So he's still in business, but the problem is, so he sells Pokemon cards, Magic the Gathering, all that shit, comic books, used and new, and fucking video games. Like he's kind of like his shop's fucking cool. The problem is he's open like 3 days a week from like noon to 3 or something like fucking ridiculous, and like not even open on the weekends because
Is that the guy?
like 2 or 3 kids. He's the really big dude.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say if that was the shop in like the old downtown area.
Downtown. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. He's still there, cool dude and everything. But he's like, I get like he's got a family, he's got to pick up the kids from school and everything. But how are you gonna run a fucking like video game / Pokemon card / comic book shop and be open like primarily during the week during school hours?
That guy burned me a CD once that had a interview with Alan Moore on it, and he gave it to me because we were talking about Alan Moore a lot. He's a really nice dude. I remember his name, but he's a totally nice dude.
Yeah, and that was one of the guys that used to hang around Queen City, but he didn't work there.
Yeah.
Because
Queen City Collectibles, man, those were what did that close down when we were in like 5th grade, maybe?
No, it was after that. It was after that. It was well after that because Parrot Boy or caw. He won a bunch of things, a bunch of those Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, and got all those things from out of there, and that was way after 5th grade for us.
But that's how the new store in Sedalia, they're pretty popping. They get it. They're open like till 9 o'clock on Saturdays, I think, and fairly late on Friday. And I was just in there, and the owners are like really knowledgeable in Pokemon. They've got binders behind the counter with every set in it. So if you need like a specific card, they've got like 8 or 10 6-foot tables set up in there, and there's always kids sitting in there playing Pokemon. Like the first time I walked in there, I always saw the sign, but I just thought it was, I didn't know, I don't know what I thought it was, to be honest. And then I was trying to buy Pokemon, I was trying to find Pokemon cards at Walgreens, and the kid checking me out was like, hey, y'all looking for Pokemon cards? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, and then he got all nervous because he was like, he was like 16, 17, something like that. And like I could tell it just took everything he had to even ask me. He's like, well, my parents, they own a store right over here, and they sell Pokemon cards. And I was like, oh really? Cool, And he told me, and I was like, oh, Forever 10. Yeah, I know that place. So I went in there and checked it out, and like it took me right back to Queen City, dude. There's kids in there. There was like the first night I went in there was like a dozen kids playing Magic and Pokemon and shit. And they've got the loose cards. They had a holographic 2nd edition Charizard in there, and Dark Charizard, and just a whole bunch of loose singles and shit for sale. And my kids were actually with me at the time, and he saw something, and he was like, "Oh, that's that one." And he was like, the guy behind the counter was like, well, "Which one do you need?" And he didn't know. My son didn't know the exact name for it, but he was like going through binders, trying to help him find the exact Pokemon that he wanted and everything. Like they're clearly knowledgeable in it, and it was just cool to see. It took me back to the old days.
Yeah, and since this is like a burgeoning market that you're getting into with your other thing, in Warrensburg, a little bit ways down, maybe a block or block and a half away down from there. Do you know if there's that other gaming store?
Yeah, Rockin' Sports.
No, the one that's not Rockin' Sports. That's just down the road.
I don't think I've been in that one.
It's all cards and models, and they have a bunch of tables set out.
Oh, really?
I'll send you that. No, and they're like, and they're a
I'll have to
bunch
check
of
them out.
Whiteman Air Force guys. And then, you wouldn't believe it though, but there's like, somehow a lot of those stores have been able to hold on, and they just have weird different hours. Like the one that was ran by the Whiteman Air Force people, they were only open like 3 or 4 days a week.
Right.
But if they had to stay late for like tabletop games or like card games,
they would do it.
They would be open till like 3 or 4 in the morning.
I think
that was weird.
There's something to be said for those kind of people, because I think you have to be. It's one of those things that you don't have it because it's a cash cow. You have it because you're fucking passionate about it. Because I've been doing a lot of research, trying to kind of get into the space, and there's razor thin margins in most of the trading card stuff, and probably the comics too. And you probably do better on just like selling one-off cards and stuff. But then you got to get lucky and get the one-off cards from the sets that you buy and shit like that. So
Vintage-
people that are still around doing it, they've skated by and stuck with it because they love it.
Yeah, vintage game stores too. You know, it's like it's really hard to have an industry like that that's really targeted at collectors and people who are
Yeah.
actively seeking out things that aren't made anymore. That's a tough niche to kind of fill and make your bread off of. You know,
Especially in 2020, like the ones that are still doing it.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Good for
I
you.
do enjoy checking out the retro game stores here in Brooklyn though, because I mean in Manhattan too, because there's a bunch. There's a pretty good selection. There's probably like 5 or 6 that I can think of off the top of my head, and you get to see all the different styles. So like, there's one guy's shop that's in the basement of a building in Manhattan, and you go down there and it smells like everything's been wet for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And like
Nice.
you go into the back and there are just like stripped out Naomi like arcade boards sitting there and like 50 disassembled Xboxes and
Like a bunch of
controllers that are
Naomi's.
sitting there.
They got like Naomi's guts
That's how you know it's
laying
legit.
out.
Last time I went in there, he had a Naomi board set up with Marvel vs. Capcom 2 in it, and he had it like, you know, hooked up to a stick, and he had it hooked up to a TV. It was clear that they had been like playing on it. That dude's store is great. It's like, but you gotta just know that you're gonna get some mildew on you.
So
Right.
my thing
And
is,
you got to know where it's at.
But also, like, there's another shop out here in Brooklyn where it's really, really small. It's like the size of my bedroom, the whole thing. And they have a King of Fighters Neo Geo arcade machine set up. And it's a classic machine. It's, you know, everything looks original as far as I can tell. But they have it hooked up to a laptop, and they're constantly streaming matches from it. And they have like a competitive scene in King of Fighters going on there,
That's crazy.
which is really cool.
And they're probably
And I mean-
paying like $10,000 rent for that spot.
dude,
I'm sure I don't know what it is. I'm sure it's crazy though.
Yeah.
It's a little tiny spot. The guys, they were super nice. I went and bought a Game Boy from them, and the guy popped it open. He was like, "Oh, your battery's a little bulged. I'll just toss in a new battery for you. You know, you don't have to pay for it or anything." And it's,
Nice.
you
That's
know,
awesome.
just like the people at retro game stores around here are really cool, and there's like all kinds of sorts. Takes a village, folks.
takes a village. Hey guys, it's getting real
Just
cold.
sell me a used game.
Uh-oh.
Every time
Sorry.
I go looking into the past and trying to remember things, I just get really fucking cold.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. But let's go back into the ice chest of previous Gravy Wheels podcast episodes.
The ice chest.
Does anybody? It's fucking cold, man. Does
not a
anybody
thing. Go on, though.
remember whenever Andrew and I both pre-ordered Analog Pockets, and Hova pre-ordered the Intellivision?
I was looking at my pre-order of that
the Intellivision
actually
Amico.
today.
When do we get those?
I remember.
That's going to be like a fun little treat in 2021 whenever everybody's still dying from COVID. And we just get this,
Pockets-
like this new, like very rare video game console.
The Pocket still isn't due until like May, so we still got a long ass ways to go. I'm
I
still
think-
picking up Game Boy
I,
games.
I
though.
think the Amico is coming out
Intellivision Amico.
is like April.
It's 4/15.
Yeah, it's April
Yeah.
15th.
You'll have
I pre-ordered it August 6th. I'm looking at it right now.
you'll have your Amico before we have our Pockets, man.
Well, I got the limited edition GameStop Purple Edition, brah. This shit's gonna be fucking worth like $700 on the market.
No,
You think
you,
PS
no,
is hard
you
to get?
told us that you were
Shit.
gonna fucking play it.
I will
right.
play it. I will, and then I'll sell it the day after.
Like a Ouya.
Yeah, like my Ouya. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have
you
it
get to play it.
in the living room of my new house. You guys can come over and play it.
We'll
On
play
the 85
Earthworm,
inch.
play Earthworm Jim, play Spelunker, and that's it. Are there more games? I don't know.
Thanks. We'll find out.
That's the kind of gaming I've had a craving for though. Like all we were talking about Game Boy games a minute ago, and that's kind of like that's where my speed is right now. Just games that I can play. I feel like Game Boy games are made in such a way where you can play them for a short amount of time typically, but also if you want to spend a lot of time on them, you can.
Yeah.
And like I
That makes
really
sense.
that's kind of where I'm at right now. Games that I can play a little bit if I want to, but also I can dump time into if I want.
I feel you because before Call of Duty came out, one thing that I was doing I would every time I was down in the living room, I'd find myself booting up Wargroove on Xbox. The fuck, I can't think of the
Advanced Wars clone.
Advanced Wars clone. Yeah, I'd always be booting that up and trying to work my way through the little campaign story mode of that. It's good times because you know how that shit is. I mean, it takes a long time to play through those missions and stuff, but you can also just like save it and put it down. So
that's another like one of the other reasons I've been enjoying playing Tetris Attack so much is because it's like I can pick it up, play a match, takes like 3 minutes maybe. It's not a big commitment, but also if I want to grind away, try to work on my combos or whatever, I can do that too.
Yep. What you sipping on there, Frank?
Huh?
What you sipping on?
Well, probably something that's fucking activated my gout is fucking ciders. I thought I was gonna get all fucking. Well, I know, right? But here's the thing, though. I've been eating a lot of rich foods, and I've been drinking the ciders like really heavy this winter, man. So I don't know what's going on, but sometimes they trigger up my gout, and I got a real hard problem, walking and climbing on the machines and stuff. And it really hurts, but you know what? The more alcohol I drink, though, the more the pain goes away. So I don't know what to do. I mean,
oh yeah.
I got an advent calendar from Aldi that is 25 beers.
And it costs $3.
I contracted COVID. I tested positive for COVID on like the 1st, I believe. So I haven't been able to so I was doing some research and it's basically said that alcohol is bad for like the healing process of anything. So I was like, well, I should probably not drink beers and stuff until after the COVID's passed. And then so then I let it, once it passed, I think it was the 13th, something like that, 12th, 13th. And then I had a lot of beers to catch up on, So I've been doing that. And they've been pretty good, man. A lot of Belgian beer, which I'm a fan of. There's a lot of German and Belgian stuff so far.
Aldi, man. They know what's up.
Aldi knows, bro. I mean, they've been killing it. They've been killing it, man. I love Aldi.
Slow. I remember being a kid and driving by Aldi and being like, what? First of all, what? And two, second of all, the signage. Something about the signage was so fucking dated. It looked like they hadn't changed.
Like from the 60s, yeah.
Yeah, like it hadn't changed anything since like 1965. It was incredible.
For those of you guys that have never heard of Aldi, it is a grocery store chain in the Midwest, I'm guessing. I mean, that's where we are, so... but just Google Aldi, and you'll see...
It's everywhere, yeah.
It's everywhere.
Is it? Okay. You'll see the logo, and the logo is super old school. But it's this bullshit store where they make you bag your own groceries. I love it. I shop there all the time. But it is kind of weird. They you have to pick up boxes as you're going around to bag to box your own groceries whenever you're done. And they also so the way they do it, if you've never been in an Aldi, the first time you go in, you're going to be like, what the fuck is this place? Because you go up, you put all your shit on there, and they just speed ring it. They just ring, 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 ring. And after everything scans, they just throw it in the cart. They just beep it, throw it in the cart. So that they check you out in like 30 seconds. They just ring up all your shit, full cart full of stuff. You pay, and then you have a cart full of shit that it feels like work. It's kind of weird. Then you have to go over to the counter, box up all your shit. I 95% of the time get to the checkout and realize I forgot to get boxes. So then I have to jump out of line and go find fucking boxes that are big enough to hold all my shit. And so it's kind of a whole fiasco. Also, you have to rent your cart. You have to bring a quarter. If you don't have a quarter, you're fucked. You can't get a cart.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you put the quarter in, and it unlocks it from the chain of carts. They're all linked together. But then whenever you return your cart, you put the key in it, and it pops the quarter back out. Yeah. So most of the time, what happens is you'll come up and some old lady's about to fucking put her cart back, and you just pay her a quarter for her cart because you know that cart already has a quarter in it, and when you come back out, you just get your quarter back. But some people, it's fun to watch because you can tell whenever no one's been there before, they're like, I gotta have a fucking quarter to get a cart? Like, they get all butthurt about it. It's like, you get it back as long as you, like, don't steal the fucking cart.
Yeah, but you gotta know. I mean, if you're not walking...
No. Stop.
Don't you wave that
no. I made a device. So I always had my lucky shined up Aldi quarter, and I would stick it in there, right? And then I'd stick my device in there. I'd pull it right back out, and I'd walk around the whole time, and then I'd just give it away like, oh hey, you know, because whenever you're loading up the back of your
vehicle, take somebody's quarter for your cart that you already got your quarter back. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'd put my quarter in.
And then remove it, but still be able to use the cart.
And still be able to use the cart for its purposes. But in the parking lot, I'd give it to like somebody else walking into the store. So it was a free.
Yeah, but then you take their quarter and then
quarter. No. Oh, we're looking at this in two very.
Theme here.
No, I didn't. No, I was doing out of the goodness of my own heart. And
this is because then they take their cart and they return it, and then they don't have a fucking quarter.
Yeah, but they didn't have to put one in the first place.
I guess they didn't have to put it in, yeah.
So they're fine.
That's half the fun is getting your quarter back, though. See,
that's why I made the thing to pull my own quarter back out, so I used the same one over and over and over again. It was my fucking Aldi quarter.
You ought to see our Aldi now, though, Andrew. They remodeled. It's pretty nasty. It's pretty fucking. It's not a good bougie now. No, it's pretty nice. They definitely made it better.
The thing I always thought of whenever I would see the Aldi sign was it looked like something that came out of the Price is Right, like Bob Barker era Price is Right, when shit looked like they hadn't touched it in 40 years.
The other weird thing about Aldi is once you go in, there's like basically a set path that you kind of have to take. Like it's designed for you to like go in and do a snake pattern all the way around and then end up at the register. And if you go against the grain, you're like fucking everybody's day. Like you can't really go the wrong way.
I hate grocery stores that do that. It fucking drives me nuts.
All right, so it's always like potato chips, cookies, oatmeal, cereal, alcohol. Then you make a big turn.
Frozen goods. What? Actually, there's an aisle full of like
so mad
actual merchandise now. I know he's like disappointed in me.
He's correct partly, but he doesn't go the right way all the time. They sell outdoor furniture, so if it's hot out in the sun, you know, you can just lay out there underneath your canopy with your family, drinking some Aldi brand lemonade. It's really cute. It's really great.
The best thing that Aldi has, they have off-brand Red Bulls called Red Thunder, and they're $1.89 a 4-pack.
And let me tell you,
they taste exactly like Red Bull. When I was in high school and I was addicted to drinking fucking Jaeger and Red Bull, and I found out that you could get 4 packs of fucking Thunder at Aldi for $1.89, changed my fucking life, bro. Yeah, Aldi saved me.
And you know what? It still gets you just as jacked up as the old Red Bull too. So it really gets you going, you know? It gets you all
fucking right, dude.
Energied up, you know?
So earlier you were doing the Minnesotan thing as a bit, and now I don't know if you're doing it as a bit or just because you're drunk. And I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Well,
he just wants to title this episode Fargo.
Bless your heart. I don't think I'm trying to pull any wool over your eyes right now. I think I'm just having fun.
No. All right.
I don't know what he's up to. I don't like it, though. So do you have anything over there on the East Coast now that, like, wasn't in the Midwest that you're a big fan of? Like, I remember people from the Pennsylvania area always talking about Wawa and how amazing that is. I don't think I've ever been to one.
We don't have those. Oh, fuck.
Well, what if, like,
even ones of those there are even pockets of places like that in the Midwest still. Like when I lived in Kansas and when I lived in Lawrence, we had Dillon's. And Dillon's was like the grocery store that you went to. Also out when I lived in like the middle of Kansas, it was the same shit. But that's like right across
and all that.
Exactly. It's like it's not even that far from you, but it's still a completely different, like a weirdly different regional thing.
Piggly Wiggly. I
Yeah,
remember Williamsburg had Piggly Wiggly.
There
I
was
don't
a pig.
know if I've ever been in one of those either.
There's a Piggly Wiggly in Kansas City too. Yeah, it was right by the bowling alley. Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's like a lot of the shit here is not really chain oriented. A lot of the stuff here is sort of owned individually, like your bodegas and stuff like that.
Hey, so what's a bodega though? What's all that? What's all the bodega talk about? What's a bodega?
It's a gas station that doesn't sell gas.
Oh, a convenience store, honey. A convenience store.
There you
Okay, okay, all right.
If you don't know what a bodega is, you just watch Half Baked and then you learn.
Yeah.
You'll also learn not to feed junk food to diabetic horses.
Everybody's got to learn at some point, one way or the other.
Butter stuff. Butternuts.
And yeah, the other thing is the bodegas have cats, so that's nice. Even though legally they're not supposed to, but they
Not a
do.
fan. Not a fan.
What? What's your problem with that?
I hate cats.
Oh, well, grow up.
No.
No, see, they have to have the cats because the cats eat the mice.
Right.
So it's actually, I believe it's actually illegal for bodegas to have cats. But it's sort of like an uneasy truce thing because like the health department knows that if they're like giving out big ass tickets for having cats, then they're just going to be more rats. So it's like there's this like balance that everybody's trying to strike.
It's so fucked up.
It's fun.
I cannot imagine being a health inspector in New York City. Fuck every bit of that.
Nightmarish.
I've
worked in 2 kitchens in the city. One of which received a B health grade. The other one received an A. Multiple A's. And I will tell you straight up, the one that received the A's was dirtier than the one that received the B.
That's fucked.
It was way grosser. Yes.
All right, so
yes, Frank.
y'all got a like a mouse and a rat problem there over in the city.
It is known, yes.
Okay, and a lot of y'all have children, right?
I'm very nervous about the part where the logic comes
No,
together.
just there's a bunch of kids, right?
Yes.
Well, fucking Red Ryder BB gun is like $35. Give your kids up.
You don't understand though. These are like Fallout 4 level rats. These are mole rats.
Okay,
That ain't doing shit.
yeah, no, and then an
Yeah.
A22,
They have-
a 22 rifle.
You don't want your children running around with 22s in the heart of Brooklyn. Like that seems like a bad idea.
What, the rats are that big? You need like a 9mm?
I think the real solution here is to train children in the way of the blade, and you get every child a katana, give them all you bust out your tatami mats so that they can cut through them. You know, make sure they get their form right so they snap the blade.
Is it just because I'm from rural Missouri that I would actually feel more comfortable around a bunch of toddlers with guns than I would with a bunch of toddlers with knives?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
I like legitimately the thought of a bunch of toddlers with fucking katanas is terrifying.
Okay. Well, let's meet.
Because the thing around here is a lot of toddlers around here are already going hunting with dad. They've already bagged a fucking deer. They know basic hunter safety. They know safety. They know how to keep the safety on. They know not to point it at people. I would much rather, at least here. Now in New York, I don't know what the fuck you give them little hellions, but
I'm talking about a new tradition. So I think that we could meet somewhere in the middle and not have something quite as dangerous as a katana, and we should get right into rapiers. So they have to work on their stabbing motion. It's not a slice. It's not a broad thing. You're not going to cut somebody's hand off, but you can skewer a few rats if you get some really good.
they can get behind that better because a katana is terrifying. Like
Sure.
if you ever handled a real sword, There's a lot of weight, very
Yeah.
sharp. You just
But
lean
now-
that on some flesh, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, but then you'll also have some swole ass kids because they've been carrying around this fucking Hanzo Hattori blade, you know, ready to decapitate Mickey Mouse.
It's fucking true, dude. It's true.
Rapier, a little safer. Maybe we could get some kids on a kunai with chain situation. Octagonal
Nunchucks.
staff. Yeah, nunchucks. But I think blades are going to be important to
Hey.
pierce the thick hides of the rats. I feel like we end up talking about New York's rats a lot on this.
You really do.
Hey, Hova beans. Do you remember making what did we make? Caltrops?
I made a lot of things with you.
No, but did you ever make the caltrops with me where we welded them?
Yeah.
Did
Why?
you
though?
ever
Why
get,
did we make? We never did any. We never did anything with them.
you never got to see them? You never used them? Okay.
I don't remember.
No, fucking
I remember you and I doing something to vehicles on the highway that went by your house. We were hiding in the woods. I don't remember what we did though. I don't remember specifically, but I remember that we were doing something not so good to vehicles going by there.
I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. But that was the same thing, basically.
But the caltrops, I think, were like far later.
Yes, with the welder, with a spot welder, when we had all the equipment.
At school, or did Joe help you?
We were in a farm barn.
Yeah. So what I said.
Okay. That's what you said. I'm just going along with the
use
story.
the first name. Like, what are we gonna do? You know.
Talking about yourself in the third person.
No, I did not have.
Did Joe
nor
help you?
do I still have the skills of welding. I don't. That's not a power I possess. That wasn't me. I didn't do that. I did a lot of other shit. I made. Never mind.
Smart.
We did things with like CO2 cartridges and stuff like that, but anything that involved welding was out of my league, and I couldn't do that. I remember Frank and I would always try to make. I was obsessed with making booby traps. I remember taking apart a cheap, like $30 paintball gun, like a Walmart special, and trying to turn it into like a fucking tripwire paintball bomb. I remember doing a lot of that kind of stuff, but we were mostly good.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. No, we were.
I mean,
Because none of our
You didn't-
intentions...
if you made caltrops but never deployed them, I guess that's pretty good.
Oh,
It was a
well,
just in case scenario type thing. I don't remember deploying caltrops. You must have done that with other people.
Hey, they
No,
worked,
nobody
though.
did that with anyone.
They worked.
Wink.
though.
Jesus Christ. That's not the worst thing that happened in high school.
What was the worst thing that happened in high school?
We probably can't talk about it.
All
No,
right.
I don't think so. I think that one of the worst things that we ever did, that I ever personally did in high school, is I think you and me, or like you and somebody else, helped me DJ the seniors above us, like their prom. And then I just played like music that only like 2 or 3 of them wanted to play, just to be like obnoxious. And then somehow at one point somebody requested a song, but somebody put a CD into the drive that had like the uncensored version, and then that like killed all of my DJing business.
DJing.
You had your powers taken away.
I only remember helping you once, and I think it was underclassmen.
But I had that system. Well, it was basically a Mackie, like 16 channel mixer, like a huge board that nobody would need for DJing because it was just massive. And then we had all those speakers we had to set out. It takes like 2 truckloads to move all that with all the monitors and everything.
What? And your dad had all that because he was in like a band or something?
Mhm.
What was it?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. You just had like a garage band.
but they had like way overpowered equipment, and we used that to play like basically music off of a CD player.
Yeah.
Who
I just
cares?
remember we played a bunch of shit that like we were really into classic rock and shit at the time. And I think we just played like a bunch of that stuff and did not give any fucks about what the underclassmen wanted. And every time they would request shit, we'd be like, yeah, 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 yeah. And then we just like play fucking Freebird for the 9th time or something.
That sounds about right. That sounds like exactly
Yeah.
the kind of thing that the sort of passive aggression of the elder class against the younger ones. We gotta wrap this up here, guys.
Wrap it before you tap it.
Yeah, also wrap it when your podcast has reached 1 hour in time. So
Don't.
thank you to
don't-
Javelin
What, they're not
for letting
listening
us
to
use your
this.
songs. Thank you, Javelin, for letting us use your songs, Hodo Popinski. We appreciate it. I don't know why you did it.
The listeners don't need to wrap it up because they're not at the last like 2 minutes of this podcast. They didn't play this up to like set the mood for them and their
They
other
left like
person.
30 minutes ago. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
they left within the first 5 minutes. But thank you, Javelin, for
Javelin, as always.
and Tyler.
Patron saint. Tyler Edwards for our art.
Speaking of patrons, thank you, patrons.
Thank you, patrons. If you're still there, we don't know. We
We
lost
haven't
we,
checked in years.
we lost our passwords. We're
Whenever patron money is there, eventually we're gonna buy a boat.
yes.
We're gonna sink it live on Twitch. So get ready for that.
We could do that. We could probably afford like a remote control boat at this point. Maybe
You get like a John boat, maybe even. I bought a John boat for real cheap not too long ago.
You
I
can
don't know
buy
what
them
that is.
sometimes cheap at like $50, like good John boat.
Yeah.
Boat.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
But your
Even with the
problem
trolley
is-
motor still on it.
Ooh,
I have a little
nice.
leak, but
who wants to wrap this up? Anybody got a word?
My word
look
this
at that
week.
wrap it up box from Chappelle's show.
Yeah.
Wrap it up, B.
Mega corporatism.